method is actually the method associated with the class, and it is a factory method to create the objects. Generally, the objects are constructed with the help of constructor, but other than constructor, if you want to create the objects, we can go for class method. And class method is called with the class name. Whenever we call a class method, whenever we want to call a class method, we have to say class name dot class method. Now, if you take the other methods, those methods are called as instance methods. So the instance methods are called with the help of object, with the help of object. So the instance methods are called with the help of objects. So object means I'll be creating, suppose if I take class, I'll take here one simple example before I proceed with the other things. So if I have some class A and there is sorry. So there is a method void display. Sorry, I'm going for display definition display. This is ordinary method. And I'm doing something here. When I take the class method, we have to use the decorator class method, and we'll be defining the method like suppose build with string, something like this. I'm having this, then I'll be creating some object by saying a constructing. Now, when I want to call this method, this is actually instance method. Instance method. So when it is an instance method, it is called with the instance. Object is nothing but the instance AOB.display. Now, if you want to call the class method, we have to call with a.build with string. It is not the instance with the, which is used to call this. So it is the class name which is used to call this. So the methods till now, whatever we have seen, they are divided into two instance methods. Are part of the class, and they are actually associated with the object. So we use the object or instance to call it. Class method is not associated with the object. It cannot use the properties of the object, but it is used to build the object. So that's why it is called as factory method. Factory is used to build or construct or manufacture something. Here the factory method is the one which manufactures the objects. So that's why it is called as class method. So we have seen some examples programs with class methods. Now, in addition to this, we'll be further learning about some more properties and methods of the class. So next we'll see static. So if you take in addition to that class method, there are some more things we should know. One is static method, static property, then static method. These two we are going to see static method. First, we will see the static property. Static property is also called as class property. So we know the difference between property and a method. So if you have a class and any member of the class that is referred inside the constructor with the help of self. So I have, suppose again, I'll take one more simple example. So I'll take class A. Now here we are going to have constructor. So define underscore underscore init underscore underscore here. Self is there. So there may be other arguments. Now, whenever I say self dot A1, self dot A2. So whatever I refer inside the constructor, now this members becomes the instance properties of the class. Instance properties of the class. So for example, we have already seen some box class, I think in last class. So here I'm referring length, width, height. They are instance properties or object properties. So these are actually considered as instance or object properties. And in addition to the instance and object properties, I gave instant methods. So there is, suppose if I take display is an instant method. This is not instance method, it is class method. So there are instance properties and instance methods. So for the instance method, the first parameter will be the current object, which is referred with generally self. And the instance properties are the ones which are referred within the constructor. Now, in addition to the instance properties, a class may possess static properties, which are also called as class properties. And the main difference between static properties and class properties is, see, I have a class. I have a class A. Now, whenever I create an object of class, then an instance is created. With each instance, instance 1 is created. Then AOB1, which is instance 1, and I may be creating AOB2A, or if I take the class which we have created box, suppose if I take the box class, B1 box, I'm saying B2 box, like that I may create any number of instances. Now with each instance, B1 will be the reference and there will be length property, there will be width property, there will be height property. So with every instance, there will be one copy of instance properties. Now this is B1. Similarly, when I create B2, there will be length, width, height. Again, if I create P3, another set of instance properties created as part of the instance or object of the class. So this is object or instance. Now, as part of the object or instance, this instance properties will be created. Now, when it is a class property, I may have several instances like P1, P2, then P3, suppose. For all the instances of the class, for every instance, there will be one copy of the instance variable. For all the instances, there will be only one copy of the class variable. This is class variable. So irrespective of the number of instances created, there will be only one class variable. That is one major difference. Another thing is how I make the class properties. See, when I take the when I refer some properties or members within the constructor, they become instance properties. Now here I may be taking one property outside all the methods. So I may be referring one property outside all methods, and that suppose generally we take count equals to 0. Now this is class property. So if I keep something outside the all methods, then it becomes a class property. The specialty of class property is there will be only one copy irrespective of the number of instances. Even if I don't create instance, there will be one copy of the class property. So generally, like suppose if I want to maintain some count of the objects created, so the count is common irrespective of the number of instances. So even 0 instances, there will be count variable class property present. Whatever may be the number of instances we create, there will be only one count variable present. So here, when I take this particular example here, so there is a count. So there is a count property, and count is a class property, means it is class level. For the entire class, only one. Now, if I take instance property, they are instance level or object level properties. For every instance, there will be one copy of that. Now, whenever I want to refer particular instance property, I require instance b1.length, because I am referring this b1.length equals to 10. Now, when I say, when I take class property a.count, we use the class name. Like to call the class method, we use the class name. So count 0, that means I'm referring this. Now this, even though it's a class property, generally we use to refer the class property with the class name, I can also refer class property with object name, because there is only one copy. So whether I say a.count or b1.count or b2.count, all will be referring to same thing, because there is only one copy. This will be referring to this. This will be referring to this, and this will be referring to this. This will be referring. Whereas I cannot refer when I cannot refer instance property with the class name. When I try to refer a.length, then there is a question mark. The question mark is which length I have to refer, whether this length I have to refer, or this length I have to refer, or p3 length I have to refer. So because there will be a separate copy of instance properties for every instance, I cannot refer the instance property with the class name. If I try to refer, there is a question mark or ambiguity of picking the property of different instances. Whereas when I take class property, there is only one property. Irrespective of the number of instances. So when I say count, there is only one count. Whether I use the class name, generally we use the class name. Whether I use the class name or object name, it does not matter, because there is only one copy. Whatever I use, whether class name or instance, I'll be referring to the same thing. So this is one important thing to know. So when I take the instance properties, just I want to make some points related with instance properties and class properties. Instance properties and class properties. So the instance properties are created inside constructor. Inside constructor. Outside also you can construct, but generally it is inside constructor. Outside it's not correct, even if you do it, even it is allowed. So these properties are kept outside of all methods. Outside of all methods. Then for every instance, means object, there will be separate copy. There will be separate copy of instance variable. Now here only one copy, irrespective of number of instances. Number of instances. Even zero instances, there will be a copy. Even zero instances, you can refer the class property. And this must be referred with object or instance reference, object or instance reference. But this generally referred with class name, but can also be referred with object. Now, before we take one real-time example, I'll take one simple example here. So I'll take suppose class A. Then I'll say count equals to 0. This becomes I'll say something like yeah, I'll take some guess count. Okay, I'll take count equals to 0. Then I'll take constructor self. So self dot A1 equals to 10. Self is instance property. Count is class property. Take one more self dot better I'll take as parameters because with different object, different I'll say A11, A12. A1 equals to A11, A2 equals to A12. So I'll have just this, then define display. Now this is instance method. This is instance method. So if without any decorator, if I define a method, it is automatically instance method. Okay. So here I'm going to display print self dot A1 equals to self dot A1, then print self dot A2. Now here what I'll do is each time an instance is created, I'll say count, I'll increment count plus equals to 1. So I can refer it with count plus equals to 1. Then I'll say printf. Okay, that will keep it. This so there is a one instant method, there is a constructor, there is one class property. Now I'll create. Now one important thing is before any instance is created, I can get the class property. That is the specialty of class property. So no instance is created, I can get the class property. So I'm getting, because it's class level property. So irrespective of the number of instances, there will be one copy. Now, if I try to say A.A1, it will not be there because no instance is created. That variable will not be there. So it is an error because we cannot refer instance property with class name. So we cannot do it. Now I'll create one instance AOB1 A. So I'm creating an instance. So I'll say 5, 3. Now A1 is set to 5 and A2 is set to 3. Now I can say print I'll create one more before we AOB2 equals to A 10 7. I'm creating one more. Now there are two instances. Now when I say print A dot count, I'll get 2. So I'll say here A dot count. Okay. So now if you take here, see, I'm creating two objects, so the count is 2. Now whether I say A or AOB1 or AOB2, it is same because there is only one copy. So there is only one copy. Here each time I call, it is automatically creating new instance, so it is becoming 0. I'll freshly do it. It may cause confusion, so I'll do it freshly. So it is 0 2 2. Now whether I refer it with the class name or object name, because there is only one copy, I will be referring the same copy. Now when I take the instance properties, so when I say print A1, so I have to take AOB1.A1 because A1 is one copy of A1 is one separate copy of AOB1. Similarly, A1 is another special copy of AOB2. So there are two copies. So I must refer it with only the class name. So AOB1 A1 is 5. AOB2 A1 is 10. I'll do it again. So 10. Now I cannot, because now there are here when I take this, so there is here what is happening. It will be clear when I write the diagram like this. So for the entire class A, there is count, one variable. This is class A. Then I'm creating AOB1 and there are A1, A2 copies. AOB1, AOB2 has A1, A2 copies. Now this is what I have given here. Values 5 and 3. This is 5, 3. This is 10 and 7. Now, whenever this is initially 0, when I construct this, this becomes 1. Again, this becomes 2. Now, whether I say A dot count or AOB1 dot count or AOB2 dot count, I am referring to the same thing because there is only one copy. Now, if I want to refer this 5, I cannot say A dot A1 because A1 there are multiple copies, so I cannot use the class name. I must go for the associated reference. So when I say AOB1 dot A1, then I'll be referring to this. When I say AOB2 dot A1, then I'll be referring to this. So this is how the instance variables and instance properties and static or class properties, they differ. So if you want to have a common thing, common variable across all the objects or instances, then you can make it as a class variable or static variable. So to make a class variable or static variable in Python, just you declare, you use it or give some initial value before the constructor or outside of any methods, it becomes the class property. That is the class property. Next, one more we'll see, which is actually the static method. Static method or static method. So next we'll see static method. Class method we have seen. Instance method we have seen. So when you take instance method, every instance method is just defined like this, like a normal function we define. If you define a method like a normal function, it becomes an instance method. And the one specialty of the instance method is self will be the first parameter, which will be referring to the current object. But for class method and all, it will not be there. So any normal definition of function, generally we don't call when a function is kept inside the class, it is method actually. So normal definition of method is instance method. This is normal definition. Now when it is a class method, we use the decorator class method. So we use the decorator class method. This is decorator is required. This we have seen already. Now for static method, we require a decorator at the rate static method. So this is, so here we are just defining a normal method, it becomes instance method. If I use at the rate class method, it becomes class method. If I use at the rate static method, it becomes static method. Now this is referred means it must be called with the instance, referred with the instance. Now this is referred with the class name. This is also referred with the class name. Now, now this is why we use instance method is to do some functionality, to do some facility, to perform some, to do some functionality, or to provide some facility, or to do some job related with the class. We do it. We use this instance method to do some functionality, or to provide some facility, or to do some activity or job of the class. We keep this instance method. This is actually we can call it as behavior of the object or entity. So this is actually an important thing. Now when I take class method, it is a factory method. We can use it for other purposes, but mainly it is a factory method to build the object in a different way. Okay, this is actually static method is it is nowhere related with the building of objects, but it will generally, it is used to provide some utility kind of thing, some additional facility. If you want to provide you some additional facility you want to provide like utility, then we can go for static method. It is to do some additional facility. It's not a common facility, some additional facility, which is not so important. This is compulsory. When I take this instance method, it is the one which is used to provide some facility which is must with the object or entity. This is not must, but you can provide some additional facility, utility facility, add-on facility to the class. So it is not that much important, and this is a factory method. So these are the differences between class method, static method, and instance method. Now this here you know that object is built here. Here no way it is related with the object. It is no way related with the object. No way related with the object. So this is actually the static method. So one more thing we have related with the one more thing related with the object oriented programming or class we have seen. Now we'll create one by combining all these things will create one class. That class, what I'll do is I'll say it as voter class. Just I want to create a class called voter, simple voter. So voter, what I want to have is I want to know the number of registered voters. So registered voter, just how many are registered I want to maintain. So it is not this is registered number of voters. So to avoid lengthy name, just I'll say number of voters. So I'll say number of voters. It is initialized to 0. It is a class variable. So it is no way related with a particular voter. Number of voter is no way linked with the voter. So when it is a static property or static property is general property, it is not specific to a particular voter. When I take a specific voter, there is no such property called number of voters. So generally the properties which are common to all voters, we can make it as or you can say constituency. Suppose I want to build voter class for a particular constituency. Suppose if it is common, then I can have a constituency name for all voters, common thing. Like that we can create. Now I'll define init here, underscore init. Now self. Now here I want to have two properties. One is name, another is age. I can take same name, it does not matter, age. I want to have two because age is one important factor for voter. So I'm voter ID. I want to make the thing simple. So I'm taking only name and age. So here I'll say self dot name equals to name. So name is an instance property. So every voter will have name, every voter will have age. For my class, I'm considering only two properties, name and age for my class voter. So these are the two instance properties. Each time when I create a voter, so I'll increment number of voters. I'll increment number of voters. Number of voters plus equals to 1. This is one property I want to have. Now, what I want to, this is one way I want to build. So I'm creating, suppose by chance, I have somebody is giving, they don't know how to calculate age. Instead of age, they are giving date of birth. So some I want generally I want to have name and age, but name is suppose given by somebody, and instead of age, suppose if they are giving date of birth. So what I can do is now I can use a factory method, which is a class method. Name will be taken as it is. Date of birth should be converted into age. Date of birth should be converted into age. To have such facility, instead of date of birth, date of birth becomes a little bit complex. I want to make it simple. So year of birth, I want to have year of birth. Now from year of birth, I want to get the age. So I'll create a factory method here. So factory method is not an instance method. When it is not an instance method, I have to have a special thing, which is decorator. So the decorator I'll use here, which is class method. So what I'll do here is define this is register by year of birth or by birth year. So first parameter is the class name. You can class name will hold the name of the class. CLS will hold the name of the class, which is nothing but voter in this case. Then name is passed. Then year is passed. Birth year is passed. Okay. So birth year is passed. Now from birth year, I have to so I can call this constructor. So I can call this constructor by saying return. I'll say return CLS. I'm building the object. I'll pass the name as it is. Now this birth year I should convert into age. So to convert that into age, what I'll do is I'll take one module which maintains the date and all. I'll maintain one module which maintains the date. So that module is date time. Port date time. Okay, I'll take that. What I'll do is I'll get age from that. So age, what I'll do is date time has one object called date, which has current date as today. So it is a built library facility, library function today. From this, I'll get the current year. Now, if you want to see what it gives, so what I'll do is I'll just take this. So I'll say import date and time. I'll print this. So just to let you know what it is giving. So it is giving the current year. So current year minus birth year, I'll get the age. So that is my idea here, plan. So what I'll do is date time. So I'm getting the current year minus birth year. So I'll get the age. I'll get the age. So that is here a simple thing I'm doing. So that is a class method. Now I want to have one extra facility. Like I told you, starting method gives some utility. Extra facility. It is no way linked with the vote building of registration of voter. Now I want to check whether the voter is valid voter or not, or voter has valid age or not for voting. So I'll take that utility with the help of static method. So I'll say define is valid age. So valid age for what? Voter. So it here it will check whether that particular person has valid age or not. So that is I want to have. So I'll take age. What it gives is whether he is eligible for, he or she is eligible for voter or not. So I'll say return. Now I'll assume that in India the valid age is minimum valid age for voter is 18. So I'll say greater than or equal to 18. So if it is greater than or equal to 18, she is valid voter, otherwise not. This is an additional facility created or utility created. This is some additional facility. Additional facility created. So I want to create one instant method which is underscore this one str. So I told you the what it does. So just I want to have this facility. So I'll say return. If here I'm formatting something like name. Self dot name. Age. Dot age. So this method I'm having now. So these are the things I want to have. So I'll make this build the class. So I've built a with simple facility like a name, age is taken, then date of birth is taken, birth year is taken, it is built, and we are creating a facility called additional facility called whether valid the particular person having valid age for vote to register as voter. I'm keeping, so it is created. Now what I'll do is I'll create a series of voters. So I'll say voter 1 voter. So I'll pass something like some name Kohli with age as suppose 33. And voter 2. I want to create with the date of birth. So register. This is direct registration. First one is direct registration. Second one is suppose if it is Dhoni. So I'm taking year and I'm passing. So voter equals to voter 3. I'll create voter suppose Rahul. Suppose 31. Now at any stage, so there will be keep on registers the registrations will be keep on happening voter registrations. At some stage I want to know the number of voters, so I'll say print voter. I'll say number of voters. And I want to check whether a particular age is valid age or not. Is 17 valid age for voter registration? I want to check that. So what I'll do is I'll say voter is valid age 17. I'll execute this and I'll print the different voters available. Print all voter details. So I'll say print voter 1, print voter 2, print voter 3. I'll execute this. So here it is giving voters, number of voters. See, I think I'm repeatedly calling certain marriage all voter details. So I'll execute this. Then I'll execute this again. Oh, this mistake. So it is giving, so number of voters is 17, valid age for voter registration false. All voter details, name Kohli age 33, name Dhoni age 40. Say when I passed 1981, the age is given as 40, name Rahul age 31. So this is so this is the output we are getting. Here I'll say number of voters. So this is the one I'm creating. So I'll create again. Now I'm doing it freshly. So I'll execute this again. So number of voters registered 3 is 17, valid age for voter registration false. All voter details. Suppose if I take here, suppose 18, I want to check whether 18 is valid age or not. Just I'll change this to, or I can read the age check. So here, what I'll do is, I'll say age int input, enter your age to check for validity. So I'm reading the age. Then I'll say print or you are eligible to get registered voter. So just I want to know whether it is false or true. So I'll say voter dot is valid age age. So now I'll execute it again. Just some slight modifications I have made. So again, I'll execute this. So here, number of voters registered 3 is 18, valid age for voter registration true. Then all voter details. Now I want to check whether a particular voter, suppose if I say 19 or just 21, it says you are eligible to get registered as voter true. So this is some facility I'm building, some simple voter class with a class method, with static method, with the class property, then the instance properties. So I have created several facilities within this which are suitable for this particular class. So number of voters is a class property common to all the voters. No specific voter will have a property called number of voters, but as per my requirement, a voter will have only 2 properties, name and age. So every voter will have a different name and different age. Then sometimes if I want to do registration. So if I give age, it is automatic registration. So I can register with birth year. Then I cannot do with constructor. I'm using class method. Then I'm I'm creating some additional facility or utility called utility to find whether a particular age is eligible for registration or not. So that is static method is valid age. I'm having one instance method str which displays the object details, the voter details. Then I'm writing a main to make use of that class. So this is the class we have used. Next, what we'll do is we'll see one more the next concept related with classes. So the next concept what we can learn is operator overloading. Operator overload. Now, normally when you take the operators, when you take some operators, whether it is suppose plus, minus, asterisk, whatever operators. Now, if I take two numbers, num1 equals to 10, num2 equals to 20, I can say num1 plus num2. So I'll get the result. Now, suppose if I have something like box object P1 with some properties length, width, height, P2 some length, width, height. Now I cannot add P1 plus P2. It is not possible. Suppose my requirement is if I add two boxes, I want to know the combined area occupied by the boxes. So I want to find the combined area occupied with boxes by whenever I add, I want to find the combined area, means box 1 area and box 2 area I want to know. But if I want to know that, I have to use some separate method. But here I want to use that use this addition as if it is as if they are numbers. So num1 plus num2 I'm getting the result. Similarly, when I say b1 plus b2, I want to get the combined area. Combined area. Similarly, when I take suppose complex number, it is already there in Python, but if you want to create, we can take a class. So there is real property or imaginary property. So I have complex number 1 and complex number 2. Normally I cannot say C3 equals to C1 plus C2. It is not possible. C3 equals to C1 plus C2. You cannot do it because it is an object, not an ordinary variable. So if I want to make these objects, C1, C2 are objects, P1, P2 are objects. If I want to make this object behave like ordinary variables, then we go for operator overloading. So operator overloading is the technique of making the objects, instances, behave or use like ordinary variables. Like I can simply say 10 plus 20, I can get the result. Similarly, when I say B1 plus B2, I should be able to get the result, which is not possible directly. So if you take this class, I'll take the box class, whatever I have written. Think area, it is missed. I think it is not saved. Okay, we'll add it. So this is the one I have. I'll take this box class here. So I'll take area. I'll add self dot area. Just I'll multiply. So self dot length into self dot width. I have this. Now when I take box class, so this I'll execute it. So I've executed. Now I'll create a box class. So B1 equals to box 12. I'm creating box. Then I'll say B1. I'll print B1. So I'm getting. So it is str is printed there, but it is not required. So I'm getting, and even area I'm not displaying, but we can get it. Now similarly, I'll create box 2. So 15, 12, 9. Then I'll print box 2. Now I'll get some length, width, height. Now I want to have B3 equals to B1 plus B2. So I want to combine the areas. This will not be allowed. So it says how you can apply plus on box. It is not possible. That's what it is saying. So normally the plus can be applied only on standard data items. It is saying how you can apply plus on box. It is not possible. So when I'm able to do say 10 plus 20, I'm able to do this on ordinary variables. I want to do the same thing on even objects, but of course it is not straight addition. It is not straight addition. So as per the requirement, suppose if it is box, when I add 2 boxes, my aim is to add 2 areas of the boxes. Or suppose if I have a polynomial, suppose if I am representing polynomial here in a class, we'll write that program. It will be a useful one. So I'm representing polynomial like here. I'll take 3x power 7 plus 5x power 4 plus 7x square plus 20. Suppose this is one polynomial I have. I'll represent it with a class. Suppose poly. We'll write a program and we'll do some direct addition. So I want to have another polynomial like 2x power 6, then 3x power 4, then 6x plus 5. Now, if I want to add this. So it is not straight addition. So I have polynomial 1 and polynomial 2. I should be able to do addition, but it is not readily possible. So here my aim is I want to get a polynomial like 3x power 7 plus 2x square plus x power 6 plus 8x power 4 plus 7x square plus 6x plus 25. This is the polynomial I'll get when I add it. When power is same, I'm adding coefficient. Otherwise, I'm retaining the term. So this is my requirement. But as it is, I cannot perform this addition. So that's where the operator overloading will help us. So operator overloading is what it does. Operator overloading is the technique of making the objects behave like ordinary variables, especially in terms of arithmetic operations. So like I perform arithmetic operations directly on ordinary variables. Similarly, I want to perform the arithmetic operations directly on objects like polynomial I want to add, but it is not straight addition. Similarly, I want to add 2 boxes. There is no meaning in adding 2 boxes, but my requirement is when somebody tries to add boxes, I want to know the combined area of 2 boxes. So that is my requirement. So it is not a straight addition. If it is polynomial, okay, we can do addition. It is meaningful if I add 2 polynomials, but it is not straight addition. I have to, but I can represent the polynomial with the help of a class, suppose. Then I want to add the polynomials by using this operator overloading. So operator overloading makes us makes the objects behave like ordinary variables. Now, if I want to do operator overloading, so what I had to do is I had to define some special methods. Like suppose if I want to, if I take the operator overloading, for every operator, there is some special method to be performed. Suppose if I take the operator, if I want to perform addition, so the method what I should define, I must define for doing this operation. Plus is I have to define a method called underscore underscore add underscore underscore. Then here one object. So when I take this, add one object is passed, which is self. Then second object is passed as other. So when I say now, suppose for example, when I say box 1 plus box 2. So what happens here is when I write this method, when I define this method inside the class, and when I do this operation, B1 will be self and B2 will be other. Then they will, in this method we can do some kind of addition and we can return. So if I want to perform plus on objects, I have to define this method. This is underscore underscore add underscore underscore. Similarly, if I want to perform minus, I have to say underscore underscore sub underscore underscore, and again two objects must be passed. One is the object, first object, the other one is the second object. Similarly, for every method there is a name. So for multiplication, I have to say underscore underscore mult. Is it mult? I think MUL. Okay, MUL we have to use. Again, this is self and other. So like that, there is a list. I'll give this. Then for division. Now division, there are two types of divisions. One is real division. This is real division, and it is named it as true division. True div underscore self and other. Similarly, I'll list out all the operators and the associated methods. Then there is double slash. So double slash, it is underscore underscore mod, because it is sorry, it is div, floor div, not div, floor div, because it is integer division. So self and other, because double slash is different and slash is different. We know that. Then percentage underscore underscore mod underscore underscore, then self and other. So based on the requirement, suppose if it's polynomial, I require only plus and minus. Multiplication I don't use, for example. Like that, whichever is suitable for your requirement to perform on the objects, you can choose that particular operation and define. So I want only addition, plus and minus. I want only plus and minus. Then define only these two methods. I want only modulus, define only these methods as per requirement. So based on requirement, you can choose the appropriate operator. When you choose the appropriate operator, the corresponding method, you must keep it in the class. It will be much clearer when we take one example. So I'll list out all other methods before we take example. Then there is double asterisk, which is for power. So I can say pow underscore underscore self other. Then there is similarly there is right shift. So we say R shift self other. Then left shift L shift underscore underscore self other. Then there is bitwise and self other. Then bitwise or self other. There is bitwise XOR underscore XOR self other. So these are, I think these are the all operators. Now, one more thing is, in addition to this, when I take one point before we proceed with any other thing is, now when I take this, I can say A plus B. When I say A equals to A plus B, what I can write is A plus equals to B. So this is shorthand. So similarly, when I take the same shorthand operation for that, if I want to that this kind of operation even an object, so there are similar methods here. So the methods are just add I to it. So you can say, so you can say I add underscore I add underscore, then again same self and other. Then for subtract underscore I sub underscore. This is for shorthand addition. Then same I mul is there. Then only division there is instead of true division there is I div. I don't know, they have kept like that. Then there is this remains same floor division. So this is I floor. And remaining names are same, like I mod, I pow, I R shift, I L shift, I and. So the remaining names are same. This is for shorthand addition. So finally it is underscore here underscore I XOR underscore self and other. So this is for shorthand. This side it is shorthand. This is direct operation. In addition to this, finally, what are the other things we can overload is we can also compare. Suppose if one box is bigger than the other box, so that is very much suitable. So I can check whether one box is bigger than other box. So the comparison, relational operations, if I take relational, not arithmetic, this is for comparison. So if it is less than, what I have to do is underscore LT, self and other. So for box, I think this we can apply. Greater than is underscore GT underscore greater than self and other. Then the other relational operators, all relational operators you can have. So the other relational operators are less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, not equals to. So less than or equals to, I'll say LE. Then greater than or equals to, it should be GE. So it all some meaningful names. Then equals to EQ. With two characters we are building, all comparison operators. So if I want to compare two objects, two boxes, I can use it. So this is not equals to NE. So this is how. So if I want to do some, if I want to make the objects behave like ordinary variables, then I have to go for operator overloading. So if I want to compare two boxes, whether one box is equals to the other box or not, like B1 double equals to B2 I want to do, then in box class I must have defined this method. So I must define equal underscore self and other. Now here, what logic you want to use for comparison, whether you want to compare area or whether you want to compare length, width, it is up to you. So whatever strategy you want to use, you can use it. So with the help of this, we can make the object